And we're live right here, the Three Amigos on Dope or Nope.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, everybody. Sorry for the cultural misappropriation. Always sort of felt it was fitting that it was the three guys today. Lauren is still fixing his hair from Miami, but we're fine. Raquel is on a plane to a wedding. She's having fun. So we thought we'd do this anyway because we love it, and it was we could talk a little bit about Miami and how fun that was, and what things happened that were fun and what things happened that were not fun. I don't know. Did you guys experience any not fun stuff?
Not fun stuff? No, everything was a lot of fun. I mean, the EDMA's getting shut down from outside to being brought inside at the moment wasn't great.
No, but as things transpired, right, as we started to look into that, like, holy cow, how fun was that? Like, much like last year when we had the tornado, for instance, right? Everyone was like, okay, well, we're still all alive, so let's just bring everything inside and have a party. And that's what we did. And I think the same thing happened this year. I thought it was really great the way everyone, artists included, were just like, noise complaint by the Fountain Blue.
Haters.
Feels a little cheeky to me. Feels
just a tad.
That was a tiny bit cheeky to me. I was like, nice, you guys. Sorry that we're not doing it at the Fountain Blue anymore. But, several words I don't want to use right now. And at the end of the day, I wasn't there for that because I had already gone to Ultra to see Nadia Ali perform with Alesso. And
nice.
Becky Hill, which was after 10 years of not seeing her on a stage, was just so fun. And then Becky Hill shows up at like 4:45, and she's on a table barefoot because there's no stage. So she gets on the table and just starts barefoot, starts wailing. Like, I'm in, boys. Let's go. Because that's, 100% who she is. Like, talk about someone who gets it. Right? I also probably wouldn't want to get in a fight with her. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, overall, I thought it was really fun. I thought we pushed 43 artists through the Media Village over the course of the 2 days. And thank you both for coming through there as artists and with your artists.
Of course. Thanks for putting it together. It was super pro how it was run. Super smooth.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. I thought so. I think we only had sort of like one person who was a little complaining about it, but
was it me?
If I got through Hardwell and A-Luck and some of the people who are very specific about the things they do and don't do, I felt very good about them being happy. And then the usual guys who are like, Armin van Buuren's like the rock star of Humble. And he just comes in and, that guy carries the light, man. That guy carries the torch in a big way. It's super fun to see him again, too, because it's been a minute.
We had a great time with all the guys from iHeart. Everybody.
Oh, my God. So fun, right? And we got to do a panel, and, I was on a panel on Wednesday for mental health on the road. It was interesting to hear the contrast between myself and, say, LP Giobbi, who was, like, sitting next to me, then and now, right? And so we started with me, what was it like doing that in the 90s? I'm like, zero guardrails. Zero. I was like, when you said mental health, it immediately rang like you were in a building with bars on the windows, right? Because there was no there was no thoughts around like self-care and mental health, and I'm not even sure like early 90s hippies were even talking about mental health. Like they just, it just wasn't a thing, certainly in regards to what we were doing. And in fact, it was quite the opposite, where it was like the crazier you were, the bigger the badge you got to wear on your shirt. So, it was really fun to do that panel too. But overall, just really fun. There obviously a lot of learnings. Yeah. And I think it was great to have Winter Music Conference back. And I'd like to, there needs to be like a few more thoughts around that. But I think overall everything went really well. Some people were like, where's the badges?
I didn't get to any of the panels. How did the panels go from like a turnout perspective?
I mean, our panel was like actually in pretty good shape, and I'd say the room was half ish around there full, and 2:30 on a Wednesday talking about mental health on the road, not super sexy, and it's the truth, but needs to be talked about. But I mean, it's at least more now being discussed, and I like to see that continue. But I understand when I asked Tommy to do the radio panel, he was so kind to take care of it, because I just couldn't manage all those interviews and some of that, because they had originally asked me to do something like that, and I was like, Tommy's your guy, he's great at that, and he was.
Yeah,
and I heard that went really well,
pretty well. And there also was about a half a room worth of people there too. So I think that as they do more, now that they've sort of reinvented it and relaunched it, they'll start to sort of dial in, kind of the panels that they use, and and more people will start going to them. I thought the radio panel actually was really good, though. There was a nice mix of people in there.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I heard that as well. But yeah, we should say hi to everybody. So, Coffee and Candy, what's up? I met one half of that duo.
I did the coffee.
Rimnez Radio Dave, welcome. If you're just joining us, if you're on Instagram, let's see who's here. Oh, Zach Marchino, Eddie Muentes.
Zach.
Whoa, look at this.
Zach.
Galaxy, I Blue Stone, Vinny Vibe. No way.
Whoa.
No way. Wow, I'm honored. So if you're just joining us, this is Dope or Nope. We do this every Thursday at 3 p.m. EST, John.
Sort of that
right.
time.
Yeah. And we play
close to 3 as we can
demos you've ever heard. We've never heard them. You've never heard them. We do everything just I go down the list and I play it. So there's zero filtering. So we're all surprised at the same time. Shall we get started?
Let's do it.
This is Sad Boys Bound to Break on Dope or Nope.
Walls that I built alone, putting out fires, trying to rewire my brain. Never a pause or a second thought. You're everything that I wish I was. I'd forget why you wanted to stay, so you would remind me every day. 'Cause you were someone so much better than I could ever be, and I'm hoping you can hear me say what I never could. What I'm feeling, I'm sorry, I know that now. It's my fault, we always came crashing down. I couldn't change, you took the blame. Oh, for me, oh, for me. My mind will pull us apart. You find the only way to my heart. Forever came, you couldn't say somebody who's bound to break. Who's bound to break. Who's bound to break. Bound to break. Yeah. I don't know if I'll ever live without all of the thoughts that have stuck around.
Damn.
Maybe
I don't want to keep playing this, but I know we got to get through it. Wow. Nick, did you say the bells are not working today?
No, but bells all day for those guys. We actually have a remix coming with Sad Boys at the end of this month.
Oh, nice.
And I love their stuff. They sit in that pocket between pop, rock, and dance. But they have it perfectly dialed, and the production is great.
Totally dialed in on this one. Wow. This is... Yeah, so all the bells and the cows and their caps, and
Whoops.
maybe throw a pig in there too if we had that. Amazing. That was So they're saying that this is an upcoming self-release.
Nice.
It's really good.
We need to get, yeah. Well, didn't BPM support their last one? What was the name?
Yes,
of that
they
one?
did. I believe their last 2, maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but I know definitely.
Are they
the last
from
one.
To the Staten Island or something? Right?
I don't know much about them.
I thought I saw a post or something like that. I would love to have them work with Bella. I think like
Long Island.
All right. Close enough, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so good. John, you want to... I'm going to rewind that a tiny bit. I was blabbing away here. John, you want to... What's your vibe?
I mean, so the way it started, I was like, oh, yeah, I mean, I feel like I've kind of heard this before. But then once it actually got into it and just, got to the, after the buildup and then it eventually, got where it was going, I was like, oh, my God, this is really good. So like you were saying, they really do have that dialed in very well, and they're just like you said, just kind of in between those 3 genres, and it could work in any of them. So
amazing. Hey, if anyone's on Instagram who's also on here, maybe Spawn, can you see if I think we're frozen on the Instagram side, but can you check?
Ours looks like it's going, but maybe yours just needs a little reset.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Now I've got to look.
So, Nick, what's your thoughts sort of like sonically? You'd have to like really be with a fine-tooth comb on this one to find something wrong in my head.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to listen offline again, but on first pass here, it sounds like it has everything it needs to have for a record like this. And it's got a lot of focus on the vocal and the guitars, which I love. Like, that brings the energy. I have nothing for it, man, except a bell. I think it's super dope.
But it's like the vocal is so present. It's like, I know I'm listening first generation, so I hear it before it goes out to the show. Mm-hmm. And I'm just hearing the vocals locked. It's, I don't know. I'm going to just babble at this point. Sad Boys, Bound to Break. Nice one. Thanks for sending. Up next, Mr. Bad Monkey. And this is called My Mind on Dope or Nope.
Nice.
Bad Monkey, My Mind. John, would you like
Good
to go
Monkey.
first?
Good Monkey.
Did you say me go first? I will,
Yeah,
because I don't
please.
have that much to say other than I was really surprised and delighted by the vocal.
Yes.
It just wasn't what I was expecting, but I'm here for it all the way. And then just the composition of the song too was just compelling. You know, it makes you want to hear it. It's not like you're hearing the same thing over and over. I didn't get bored with it. I mean, we only heard a little bit of it too, but I mean, I think that over the course of the song, I would probably not get bored because it's quite interesting with the structure and stuff. So,
and here's the thing.
It's
3 minutes. So the interesting part is like it doesn't feel like more than a minute and a half. Do you know what I mean?
Interesting.
How many times have you heard like a 3-minute song? It's like, wow, I could have washed my car just now. But not
That's
really.
usually not my first thought, but I'll roll with it.
I got, my car's very long, so it takes a while. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels really tight. I do have a couple comments, so I'm going to hold. But I was really, I like how you said that. I felt like the same thing exactly, where it was like, wow, this thing is flying. And it, it really wasn't. It just felt great, and you didn't notice the time went by. So
well, I thought he had just the right amount of variation in it, and I like that I like the quality of that one sound. He uses the like kind of stabby alarm clocky type synth. However, I feel like it could be warmer and a little less. Yeah, it pokes through a little aggressively in an annoying way.
Poke is the right word there for me.
Yeah.
Like I was like, how do you?
He can warm that up by throwing it down an octave as a layer and maybe just bringing that top layer down. I like the idea of it, and the kind of like the chord is weird, but it works. But the sound is a little harsh, and in a club that's gonna be aggressive on the ears.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
3 a.m. It's like,
rough. But I like this direction for Bad Monkey. It's a lot different than a lot of the other stuff he's
crazy cool.
Yeah.
I totally was thrown off by the vocal. You're right, John. I was just like, I like this track. I like how like he layered, and then a little bit further in, like the bass came in and it felt fatter and warmer, and then that vocal, even just that little piece of it, so nice, so nice. Do you think that's a splice?
Could be tough to tell. I'd be curious if it is.
I like how it sounds, just like you intentionally sped it up because it does that little wobble right up on that one note, which is normally when you speed something up too much, but this actually sounds like it was supposed to sound like that way. I really like it. Anyway, if we had bells or farm animals, I'd be throwing those all over the place.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's 2 in a row.
I need some spoons down here.
Spoon Man.
That's pretty good.
Here we go.
Okay.
Right.
That's pretty good.
I like it better because usually like Lauren will pull out something and it sounds exactly what I thought it would look like. Use the horn.
Oh, the horn isn't hooked up yet, but it will be soon, and that will be our new move.
That'll be a big surprise.
No.
Yes.
So, JB saw the horn.
Yeah.
So we were at the first gig in Miami, and they had what I thought was an air horn, and then I looked further, and it was 4 air horns, but not just 4 air horns. It was connected to a DeWalt drill. So when you hit the drill, the air horn went off. So I said out loud, I want that. And Joe from Mason Boss ordered it and sent it to my house immediately. So I now have the air horn that I need to connect to the drill.
Just warn me the week you do that so I can put a little cotton in before I put in the AirPods, because I think it's going to hurt.
My house parties
that thing gave me
are never
I was just going to say, that thing gave me a heart attack when it went off. During up at that party on top of the Dream.
Oh, it's the rooftop thing, right? Yeah, I was trying to get there, it just didn't happen.
I had an adrenaline rush right after. It was like I had been attacked. It had been, but
John's like, first day on the ground in Miami in a few years. Woohoo! Here we go.
Yeah, wasn't cute.
All right, so that was Bad Monkey, My Mind. Next up, Radio Dave, Dark Passenger, right here. Oh, I'm logged in. No. You're not doing that. No.
Dark Passenger, you said.
Yes.
I'm intrigued.
Here we go. There we go. Now I got it. Screw you.
If you need fitness tips, by the way, as an alternative to Hess, you can tune into Radio Dave on Instagram.
Yeah, that's another. It's an entirely different level of fitness right there. Here we go. Dope or nope.
Tonight's the night. I'm not sure what I am. I just know there's something dark in me. I'd hide it. I certainly don't talk about it. But it's there. And it's going to happen again and again and again. That's the happen. Tonight's the night. It's going to happen again. I'm not sure what I am. I just know there's something dark in me.
That's Radio Dave in beast mode right there. Radio Dave, Dark Passenger. Nick, you want to start with that one?
I feel like he makes music to do leg lifts with or something. Like it's he designs his own music.
Yeah.
To put like 400 pounds on the rack and aggressively push it.
Yeah.
That's what it's meant for.
Yeah.
I liked bits of this. I think there are a lot of really strong parts of it, and it feels like it's at 75% to me.
Yeah.
This, like, when the drop hit, I was like, oh, that's really dope energy. I didn't expect it to go there, but it works really well.
Yeah.
But then when the secondary bass line came in on top of it, it ran into itself a little bit. So that needs a little finesse, both with like the sound and the mix so they don't fight each other.
Right.
Some of the drums that happen, ongoing Radio Dave things there. Like once you brought in the claps, I was like, I don't know that that's the right sound set for this
right.
type of mood. Actually, the new Laid Back Luke, the It Clicked record.
Oh yeah.
The first half of that drop might be a good reference for this, so check that one out.
Yeah, super fun track too, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, good reference. I feel like in very typical Radio Dave style, he's laying like the groundwork for what's to come. You know what I mean? Like I feel like when he brings stuff here sometimes that they're often, some of them are more finished than this, but I feel like this is sort of like his average sort of amount of done, right? So he's like laying the groundwork, putting the layers in, kind of moving things around a little bit, still in the early stages in that respect, but I like it a lot. I like where it's going for sure. And you're right, like that drop, it's just like it felt really good the way that came in. You're right. Just real quick, Coffee and Candy, you had a track in there. We've gone back to 3:18 area as far as submissions, and you guys laid one out on 4:3. Oh, that's today. That link doesn't work, by the way. So if you want to drop another one in there before we blow out of here, I left a space for you. John?
Yeah, what a mood. And I think, Nick, maybe you're right. He is designing and making these songs so that he can just like do beast mode workouts or something, because that is the very mood that I felt when I was hearing that, and I do like the way that the drop went. Dun, 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 dun. That was a nice surprise, and I thought it was pretty groovy. So, yeah, I mean, half a bell for the idea, and maybe a full bell when it's ready. So,
yes.
I've got Oh, thank you, Nick. I wish I had a half a bell.
Is that the mute? I noticed the other cup was blue or green. Is the white one the muted?
I don't know what's what. We're gonna figure it out. We have a collection of cups in the studio, which is a problem in itself.
Super fun. Yeah. What's going on there?
It's called being Radio glued Dave. To my chair.
Right. Good point. Radio Dave, Dark Passenger, right here on Dope or Nope. Thanks again, everyone out there. Hey, Ash Music, Just Jack. Awesome. Really fun. People coming by there on Instagram on this side. Nick, you got any shout outs you want to do while
let's do it. Who do we have over here? Dancing Faraz. Shout out to Dancing Faraz over on Instagram.
Nice.
By the way, he was amazing in Miami. Jumped on for our set at the Dream. Obviously, music out from him on Liftoff and more to come. Super excited.
You can reach Mr. McDizzle if you want to hear that.
Go ahead. Well, what I was going to say is Faraz got the Liftoff, our label, tattoo on his arm because it's his first official EP release. He just went all in. So that happened in Miami. You could go to
That's how that guy is.
Yeah, you could go to our Liftoff Instagram to check that out.
Wow.
Next level.
Sorry. As a person with 4 cover-ups, I get a little scared sometimes.
Yeah, and Faraz had a great
leave it right
music.
there. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, such a nice human being, by the way. So let's just,
He's all right.
I mean, there's talent, right? So there's talent, and then there's, a lot of the people. Well, I get it through my feed all the time on Instagram, but that's what I'm into, so it feeds me. But I heard a lot of that on, while I was down there talking to artists and stuff like that. Whoop, sorry, John.
You got excited, or you pissed him off.
Something happened. But I heard a lot of what's the one? If you could say one thing to an artist today, what would it be? And I heard several panels where it was like, "Hey, be nice."
Oh, I said it in radio interviews.
Yeah.
I feel like people forget.
No.
Even post Miami, I got
people
a message.
Definitely forget. Yes.
I mean that in it should be the entry point of everything.
Should be your baseline.
Yeah. I got a message after Miami of somebody being like, "Hey, great to meet you. This is what I want to do. Can you help me?" And the way it was worded, it was just in such a way of like, "Hey, I just walked in your house and I need some sugar and I'm just gonna take it and then I'm gonna leave." So cool. Can we build a little bit of a relationship before I marry you?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Did you say that so slowly because you were looking for the right words?
I didn't want to be totally offensive because I could have been. But yeah. Yeah, the point is, guys, if you weren't in Miami and heard us preach that, I'm glad you're here to hear it.
Yeah.
Just be nice.
Just be nice. What the... Let's see, baseline. All right, who's next? Michael Gerald, and this is called Only You, and this is only Dope or Nope. Okay, this is 5:45, so I'm going to bounce around a little bit. Hold on. Very true right there. Okay. Here's the bill. That is Michael Gerald and Only You, the extended version, of course. And if you're just joining us, this is Dope or Nope. We do this every Thursday, 3 p.m.-ish EST. And today, in case you didn't know, we are the Three Amigos, by the way. So sorry if anyone's offended by that, but what can I say? This is Nick Dietrich, or Dick Nitri, depending on what he's drank for the day.
Wow. Damn.
Well, didn't you say that was like your alternate personality?
It is, yeah. It depends. It could be a glass of wine or a full cup of flaxseed. Depends where it goes. Yeah, I got in the.
I'm not going there.
You get it? Are you in on the flaxseed? Do you consume it? Like, do you eat it?
Absolutely.
So
either ground or just the seeds sometimes, yeah.
So I grind it up. I have like a vat of it, right?
Yeah.
And I got annoyed with always having to like cook with it because sometimes I don't want to eat, but I want to have the thing. I just started putting a ton of it in water, and it's disgusting.
Oh, nice.
However.
Oh.
So yeah, obviously Dick Nitri comes out when you get the flax stuck in your throat.
Right.
Yeah. Just don't, because it doesn't dissolve either.
Because I kind of feel like that's like mixing dirt in water.
1000%. If you like drinking dirt, have
if
some
you like
flax.
dirt, by golly.
It's weird. Man.
Yeah. You know, using it as an oil also is good in cooking. But you're right, sometimes if you don't want to cook. But I throw it on salads. I throw it in shakes. I put it in a lot of stuff my kids don't know about, which is great.
That is good.
Yeah.
Because the three, what's the Italian? There's a word for like the three thing: onion, celery, and something else. It's called the
mise en place.
Right.
But it's
so
called
for me,
the sofrito.
Okay. So for me, chia seeds, hemp seeds, and flax are the in my daily routine. Besides, I mean, I do the other stuff too, but like I put that shit on everything.
No, Ken, I don't always want to put it in a shake. Like I don't want to have to make the shake. That's the point. It's like I don't want to cook. I don't want to make a shake. I just want to like consume it.
Sorry, I didn't even see that comment, and you sort of went off. I'm like, who's he talking to?
There's only one person I go off with.
So, all right. What do we think about Michael's track here? Let's go with that.
Flax seeds.
I mean, is that how we got to flax seeds? No.
I don't
feel bad because now I don't have the feedback I wanted to give. I love this. This is one of those tracks that, like, coming off of Miami, this would be perfect at like a day party in Miami. It's not attention grabbing, but that's sometimes a really good thing. Like this fits into a vibe setting set in the right way. And his stuff, like the mixes are always really clean and whatnot.
Very much.
I thought it hit nicely. I would be curious to hear a little bit more low end and the 230 to 245 version. I think this would be a difficult one to edit down, you know, and keep the integrity of it, but I feel like you kind of get the record relatively quick. So.
You got to let someone else do the edit.
Yes.
Not the person who made it, I think. You know, someone who has good editing perspective, but is not attached to the pieces that wrote the story, you know?
I can do it.
John.
Yeah.
Ninja.
So this is...
Ninja guy, that
this
guy.
Song, this song's quite a groove, you know? And I think the, like, spaced out vocals kind of added to that whole thing. And when you said day party, Nick, that's exactly where this song belongs. Yeah. It's, it might play okay at 2:30 in the morning, but I'm going to be in bed. So play it in the day party and I would definitely dance to this. So I like it. I really like the whole idea of it. The concept is good. So At least a half a bell for me. If we have bells, if we don't, that's fine. I still think it had a nice groove. So carry on, Michael Gerald.
I agree. And Michael's always dropped off, like you said, Nick, really nice, clean production, smooth, I think is a theme that runs through every one of his tracks. I get a little 80s porn video vibe here. You know, bell bottoms, roller skating, that kind of thing.
I'd agree. Paint the picture.
Yeah, that's it right there. All right, Michael, next one up. This is JM. How you doing? JM, Tori, and Aviella, Love Me or Let Me Go. Damn it.
Sleepless nights, I'm talking to the devil in my mind. I'm always looking for the exit sign, but I'll never leave ya. No, I can't forget, I made a home for you inside my head. I know I'll wake up in your bed again, 'cause I'll never leave ya. So if you love me, let me go. If you love me, let me go. If you love me, let me go. There's nothing that else, my heart is shattered. I can't do this on my own. So if you love me, go. There's nothing else, my heart is shattered. I can't do this on my own. So if you love me, a second guess, I should've known from the first time we met. We start a cycle that will never end. Don't know why I stay, 'cause I know I'm better all alone. I need you to help me take control. I know this connection got me in the hole. So if you love me, let me go.
There it is, JM, Tori, and Aviella, Love Me or Let Me Go, right here on Dope or Nope. Who wants to go first?
I'll jump in on this.
Cool.
I love the stuff they do together. I feel like this, it doesn't sound like a finished idea, but I like where it's headed.
Yeah.
Rimnez said, I feel the kick should be louder. I just don't think it's the right kick. It didn't really have a lot of impact. It sounded just almost like an attack. Like it didn't have meat on the bone, which can help tie this whole thing together if you get the right kick. Like this synth kind of sounds, it's great. Like the sound is great, but it almost feels disconnected from everything else in a way. Vocal feels disconnected from the production. So I think gluing everything together should be the focus moving forward on this record. Arrangement was great. I like stuff coming in and out. I will say, like, the organ bass that came in the second verse was great, and it worked really well, but the frequency range it sits in was missing from other parts of the record. So you might want to find layers that work in the same way to help fill in that space. And that's all I got. I really love the idea, though. It's great. We
Nice.
play the hell out of this.
Do you feel like this, what do you call that, shimmer? This thing right here? I feel like that was a little heavy.
This
Or
synth,
maybe this
the
piece where it kind of like shimmers like that.
Yeah, I just think it's a balance issue with the drums and sort of where everything sits.
Yeah, it was really loud. I mean,
Yep.
I like the idea, but it was like, at least in how I'm hearing it in the AirPods, it sounds like.
To JM's credit, and I know JM's production really well over the years.
Yeah.
And we've mixed some of his stuff. This one he dialed back on the effects. Like he's got a habit of putting lots of effects on stuff, and because it makes it feel bigger, right? Like more reverb, it makes it feel bigger. But I feel like this one he didn't do that, which is really nice. It feels tight. But now everything just needs to feel more connected.
Just tie it all together, right? Nice.
Yep.
Thanks, Nick. John?
Yeah, well, I love Aviela's vocals, and I think she did a good job on this. And lyrically, this song actually was also pretty good. I mean, you could just as easily use a bunch of cliche lyrics, and I don't think that they necessarily did that for this one. So, and I think the production on it is pretty fun as well. I got a shout out to Aviela because she actually came up out of nowhere at Winter Music last week and like tapped me on the shoulder and said, "I just wanted to say hi." So it's it was nice to be remembered by somebody with that great voice and that purple of hair. So
right. Yeah, it was so nice to see, actually, all three of them, Zach included, over at the Media Village and kind of rolling through and saying hi to everyone. That was so great. All three of them, separately and together, have done such great work. All right, let's see.
JB, I have a question for you. Being around all of that radio in one room, I'm sure you were nostalgic about it, but did you, in those moments, feel like you wanted to be back in it or miss it, or you were happy with your place of like,
great question.
I did what I needed to do. Now it's
right.
I'm good.
Did you get the FOMO, John?
Yeah. I did not. I did it for so long that I feel like I kind of did everything I possibly could have done there. It was fun to see people doing it, but I didn't feel like, I need to, I got to figure out a way to get back in there or anything. So no, I don't have FOMO about that, but it was nice to be in the room with people that are doing that, because radio people are my people. So It was nice to see my people again.
That's awesome. That's a great way to think about it too. And I felt people asked me that question a little bit about after I left, my regular contract with Armada. People are like, "Oh, are you crazy?" I'm like, "Well, that's a separate conversation." But I think sometimes when first of all, you do what you said you were going to do, right? You say, I'm going to be the best person I can be in this position and take it as far as I can take it. And then at some point, there's a ceiling. In that exact lane all the time, there's a ceiling. So I think it's good to like get out and shake it up a little bit. And that's, what I've done. And that's what you've done, John. And it was great to have spent some time with Ron because I don't get to interact with him as much anymore. But then he goes home and resigns.
Immediately retires.
Wow.
Immediately,
I didn't hear that.
Resigned and retired, same day.
Wow.
I was like, is this something I said during the radio?
It wasn't. No, I actually have a tentative meeting with him next week just to so he can let me know kind of how all of that went down. So
yeah, he's such a
It'll
nice
be interesting
guy,
to hear. He is a good guy.
Speaking from the other older guy in the room, Thursday night he went out to Sub Focus. I think he clocked out around 3 and then was in the radio room at sharp when we started and sharp the whole day. He went through the whole day on Friday kicking ass, so I appreciate that. But yeah, super great question there. Rimnez, shall we do his? Here we go.
Do it.
This is called Between the Lines by Rimnez on Dope or No.
Say I just like a satellite, like me, one step closer to paradise.
Shout out to DJ Triple XL.
How it feels when we lose gravity.
What's up, brother?
Hold my hand.
Jam.
We all
Just missed
need
the
a
song.
leap of faith. Walk behind. Nobody can imitate. Don't be scared. We all need a little faith for the lonely heart. Need to follow your heart. I know you have it inside. Read between the lines. I know. Gotta follow the signs. It's written in the stars. Read between the lines. Between the lines. Need to follow your heart. I know you have it inside. Read between the lines. I know. Gotta follow the signs. It's written in the stars. Read between the lines.
I'm a big fan of this. I just want to see where this goes. 1 second.
We all need a little faith for the lonely heart. Need to follow your heart. I know you have it. Gotta follow the line between them. Need to follow. Read between the lines.
That is Remnez with Between the Lines. I'm going to go first if it's all right with you guys. Nick, my question is to you, and maybe John too. Like this whole section with the vocal and then coming into, right before here, where it goes into this. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I was thinking not anything specific, but not this coming out of this style and this vocal. Going into like what feels like a trance record to me. A little bit.
So, my biggest hurdle with this record, well, the biggest thing I think that should be addressed is how you get into this drop.
Right?
It feels abrupt. It does feel connected loosely. The vibe works together, but how you get there will make the difference.
I feel like they're standing next to each other in such a raw moment that it doesn't feel like the pass through to this section feels as I don't know, doesn't feel as smooth getting into that.
Can you jump back like I don't know, 15 seconds?
Really quick? So here we're in this vocal, right? I get the build up.
No, I think it's a combination of things. Like I like that he teases the melody for the drop, but it stays at one. It doesn't really like automate up. It stays low pass, but it doesn't really like build and climax enough towards that drop. And then when the drop hits, it's so washed out. It needs to be look, guys, when you put tons of reverb on something, it makes it sound big, like you're playing out in a stadium or a festival or a big room. But when you play out in a big room with lots of reverb on a sound, it's going to make it sound washed out because it hits a limiter in the club or the system you're on, and it's going to make that just reverb go forward, and it's going to sound like a hot mess. This goes for radio too, by the way. So you don't need to overemphasize. My suggestion is always dial back more than you think you need to, because once you play it in certain formats like on radio or in a system or in a stadium or in a festival or in a larger room, you're going to get that effect by default of the environment you're in.
I love that.
So I would just dial that back and focus in on that sound a little bit tighter, and that'll marry it to the vocal a little bit more.
Yeah, because I really like the vocal. I like the lyric. Like, it feels great to me. And then that section just, I don't know.
I will fix the automations and dial them in.
There you go. There you go. Mr. John, you have some fine comments from you, sir?
I mean, nothing you guys haven't already said. I mean, and I wouldn't have ever come up with all of that stuff you guys said either. So, but I, as just a first time listener of this, I really like the idea of it. I really did like the vocal. Yeah, there's a lot to like there. And I think that if you took just some of the feedback you've been getting from the other two, that, you might have something really special there. So I liked it.
I think there's definitely a diamond in the rough there. DJ Scotty D from Epic said, if the bill dipped before the drop, it would be much more impactful. Have to agree with that statement. Yeah,
I agree.
There you go. How about that guy coming in from Instagram? Thank you, Scotty. All right.
I really like the guy on Instagram who just said, man, you guys are so old now.
Who said that? Because I'm going to find out where you live.
Get off my lawn.
And park in the handicap spot.
I'll show you, old. I'm going to crawl over there and then send Radio Dave into your house. How about that?
There you go.
All right. Last but not least, Coffee and Candy, I Still Believe, on Dope or Nope. We gotta end with something like this, right?
I still believe in the sunshine after rain. I still believe that love can ease the pain. I still believe. I still believe.
Wanna take a trip through the night. I wanna feel alright. Let's hang out, meet our friends with the superstar glance. Let's get out, have a drink. There's nothing more to think. Let's do it like a superstar, superstar. Wanna take a trip.
Can ease the pain.
Coffee and Candy, I Still Believe, right here on Dope or Nope. I feel like they've been hanging out with Radio Dave a little bit. Did you get that feeling when it like started to go into the
once it gets to that like little
right here, yeah, exactly. And then it starts like woo. Yeah. John, would you like to go first on this, please? Oh, turn your mic on, sir.
Muted.
All right. First, I want to, I'm old over here, but learn from our wisdom, okay? I just wanted to say what's up to Cisco. Thank you for coming up and introducing yourself to me. It was great to meet you out in front of the Eden Rock last week.
Yeah.
This song, yeah, I mean, it's, what can I even say, honestly? It's got a lot going on. It kind of goes through a bunch of different phases, and I think that keeps things really interesting as far as the listener goes. So I say nice going. I honestly I don't have any notes other than I really enjoyed it.
Right. Nice.
The drop is very New York underground, DJ's Jersey Shore, Mike Macaluso final chapter ish.
Oh, whoa.
No? Am I wrong?
No, you're right. I suddenly had a craving for pizza.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I like it for those nostalgic vibes. I don't know where this fits exactly right now in a set of music, but that's not to say it couldn't work. I'm a little thrown off by the vocal in spots, but
yeah, that part I was trying to get in my head as well.
Like I Still Believe stuff works, and this generally works. I just think that it needs like a thing or a couple things to take it into 2025.
I feel like, but also like, couldn't this be like an early song in a trance set? Like,
could be
warm up ish.
Yeah, I'd want to tweak the mix though if that's the case.
Yeah. I feel like it has some good elements there.
They said that's a compliment. It is a compliment. Yeah. All the things I referenced, by the way.
Right. Yeah. I kind of feel like, you know, when you get to like, it was so funny Friday when I was like, we were driving to go into Ultra, and we were all in the truck for it was early. It was like 7:00, and we drove by the trance stage, and I was looking at my watch because the windows from the truck were rattling. I was like, it's 7 p.m. Yo, like what
never
is
too early, never too late.
There's what is even happening right now? Like, you don't do that. I mean, says the guy who worked James Brown is dead to radio. Like, but it was really aggressive. But I've been like to a lot of Armin sets, like the early on stuff. You know, the people who are like opening and just getting things going. I feel like that has a spot there, at least from the club side. But yeah, I like that a lot. I'll go with half a cup, half a bell cup.
Half a bell cup?
Yeah.
All right.
Half bell.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got you.
Sorry. The white one.
I didn't know where you were going with that, but
Yeah.
I'm with it.
Half a cup of
speaking
flax
ultra, we didn't-
water.
Oh,
What?
Jesus. Don't remind me because I still got to do it today. We didn't really get to talk about it, but I messaged Nadia because the set was incredible. We were actually in a lift, and the lift driver had an iPad like hooked up on his dash.
Oh,
with
dope. And was he playing the show?
And he
Yeah.
was playing the stream, and I didn't realize who was on, whatever. And the next thing I knew, Nadia's on stage with her crazy-ass outfit, which is what I messaged her about. She's like, yeah, I had to do it. Decade off. Had to come back with that.
I mean,
Nice.
crazy. I didn't see it until she put it on. I never saw it. And then it was like me, Daniel Davis from Fatum. We were in the backstage. And she had it because she had it in like, you know, a garment bag. And
She looked like she was out of a Marvel movie.
100%. I'm like, are you going to fly over Alesso right now, or how's that working? But yeah, it was really, and like apparently at the very beginning when the track started, like we were standing backstage, there was zero warning. So she literally like ran in between the stage to go out into the front spot in front of the booth with zero warning. And then, yeah, thanks, Remnants. You're right. So I didn't realize that I was on camera somehow because my wife had hit me. I was hanging out with Mo. It was so nice to see him again. And I guess some sort of like the networking click track like was not in her ear, so she was completely going off the sound that was blowing out in front of her and trying to keep up with that. And I think it was admirable. They eventually like the network kind of everything kicked back in again, but just for a millisecond at the beginning. But yeah, so crazy. Yeah,
I love that.
And it was great to see Mo. I haven't seen Mo, like I worked alone, the Marshmallow record, that was kind of the one. And it was, you know, that was a monumental song for him. I think that one really just put him over the top.
It did fairly well, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah.
But I gotta send you on that note. We did the mashup for Miami of I Think We're Alone Now into Alone.
No.
And because they're in the same key.
I didn't. So that's crazy. I gotta hear that.
Fire that
actually.
over to you.
That's super fun.
Yeah.
Well, so there you have it. Another hour of amazing demos. Thank you everyone for dropping them off. Really appreciate your trust in us. Let us talk about your music, and for everyone who joined us on Instagram or wherever you are, so much appreciated for your listening and comments too. Really love you guys jumping in, and even if you're just passing by on Instagram, because I know how that goes in the dead scroll. And thank you for that, and for you guys, the other two amigos here, for jumping in and doing this today, because we're all playing a pretty wicked set of catch-up stuff and trying to get stuff done. Just real quick, if you are on Instagram, hit up at Jamie Hess, one word. We're running a charity race on Saturday at in Disney, at Run Disney. We start at 3:59 a.m. I feel.
How is the knee?
Oh yeah, I'm completely unprepared for this race because halfway through prepping for it, I have a little bit of a problem with my knee. I went and saw someone today, and it's like, long story, but it's like there's maybe a little irritation and some water accumulation. So that's what's causing the irritation.
Oh, so you did get a word from the doctor on it.
Yeah, so we'll get that sorted out when we get back, but it's not anything that a little ibuprofen can handle through the run. The other part is I'm still not prepared whether I get through the pain or not. So the good thing about a Disney run is like it's fun. there's like zero, at least how I've been reading about it, zero competitive vibe in there. It's like people stop, they take pictures, the characters are all over the place, and you know what I mean? It'd be fun. So that's perfect for me and how I'm feeling, because like I'm gonna run a little bit, I'll probably walk a little bit, I'll probably like hang around and egg people on to get them going. Like that's the fun part of like doing races like this. So 3:59 in the morning on Saturday is not as much fun as I'd like to have, but we have to be done before the park opens. So that's kind of a thing. But it is also a charity run for us. So if you ever want to donate a couple bucks, it's a great charity for an MDP, which is a stem cell research company providing stem cells, financial support, and a lot of stuff for people who need that kind of help. What are you guys doing, Nick? What do you got on your agenda?
What's coming up? There's lots of stuff coming up. By the way, I haven't really talked about it here, but I'm the director of music for the Global Gaming League out of Las Vegas.
Yes, sir. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. So we are in full swing mode right now of season 0, which will be the first set of events going on. You'll probably see everybody from T-Pain and Neo to Shaq and Flavor Flav battling, and I'll be activating some cool music. So if you've got music, we're looking for everything from like dance to hip hop. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's dope. You can
get that shit in the games, man. Let's go.
Over music@globalgamingleague.com. And we're doing some exciting stuff on Liftoff. Obviously, we got our Disco Fries record in rotation on BPM. Kid Spins record. Fiesta is over on Globalization. And we've got a big one coming from Mason Boss. So, look out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Excited. Speaking of 2 workout giants there.
Yeah.
We keep threatening each other that we're going to work out together.
You should.
We just have to figure it out. We just have to be in the same place with an hour. I think we'll go with an hour first. And we're all like, but Dave,
you guys were talking
home.
about hours in Miami. Hours.
Yeah, well, 1 hour. Look, it's 4:16. See how that works?
It does go quick.
Just flies when you're having fun. John, what do you got planned?
Not a lot. It's supposed to be nice weather over here this weekend, so probably try to get out with the dogs, maybe get down to the water or hit a trail or something like that. Congratulations, Nick, on your new post. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool.
I also wanted to add that if people are going to share portions of the show on social media, to make sure and tag us so that we can also repost that on your behalf and grow the show and and get your music out there a little bit further than it normally would get. And if you know people that make music and think that they could benefit from our expertise, please have them submit their music to dopeornotemusic.com.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, John, for remembering that every time, because neither of us do. All right. Again, thanks everyone for joining us. Are we doing next week, or are we doing every other?
I thought we were doing
every other was
if time dictates, we do it. If not,
I think we need to figure out, because I have spring break the week of right before my 65th.
Wow. That's a big one.
Yeah.
I should ever be as healthy as you, George.
Yeah, I think you're gonna see the Instagram transition a little bit on that weekend.
Right on. Well, I'm available next week if we do it, and if we have to take the following week off for your spring break, we can do that too. So we're all very flexible.
Or you guys can do the thing, and maybe Raquel will be back, and Lauren will have a little space of being caught up at being president of El Presidente at
El Presidente. The Three Amigos and El Presidente. We're,
oh, dear.
We're like
all right, everyone.
Chili's franchise. Here we go.
All right, everybody.
Guys. Thank you.
Take care.
See you later.